Welcome to our channel, Beautiful Machine Mods. So I got this 2022 recently, 2022 Camaro SS Rapid Blue. And the problem I'm having is I would drive it, I put it on track because I like the way the exhaust sounds. It's very loud, or it's nice and loud. And then when I shut it off, and then when I turn it back on, it goes back to touring mode, which closes the other two exhausts. The valve will close, so now it's quieter. And then I have to reselect the track mode all over again. So what's been happening, every time I shut off the engine, I start up the engine again, and the valves for the exhaust closes right after a few seconds right after I start it, and then it defaults to touring mode, and then I have to reselect track mode to get that nice exhaust note. So each time I have to drive, I gotta do the same thing all over again. I start up the engine and then reselect track each and every time. All I want is the valve not to close, the exhaust valve, I mean. So let me show you what I mean, the valve that closes. So this is the exhaust valve that I was talking about earlier. So you see that valve right there? That valve is open right now. Okay, so it's the outer. If you're looking at it right now, it's the outer one. So as soon as I start the engine, this will close up, and I'll show you after I start it. Hold on a second. All right, guys. Let's put this on neutral first. I haven't touched anything yet, and I haven't used this for 2 days. So the last time I used it, it was on track mode. So I'm gonna start it up. I move the steering so I can show you. You notice it's on, see that blue right there? That means it's on touring mode. Let me move the selector here. So it's on sport now. It's on track. So the last time I used it, it was on track. So automatically when you first start it up, after you turn off the engine and you start it up, it'll be on tour mode right there. It'll be on tour, just like that, tour. See that T in blue? Let's go outside. I'm gonna show you what happens to the exhaust. You see that? The exhaust valve is closed. So initially, before I started it, this thing was open, and it closes, and then it's on tour mode. So every time you start, it goes to tour mode, and then the tour mode sends a signal to this valve and it'll close. Okay, so I open up the hood, and there's a fuse in here that sends power to the exhaust valve. So in here, I'm gonna look for something that deals with the exhaust valve. Right there, F51. There, F51, 15 amp rear exhaust valve, F51. F51 is located right here, F51. So if I compare that, You see two there's two big fuses here. That would be this two fuses right here. This two. You see this big fuse right here? That's the big fuse. So this big fuse is this one, the K2. And then the two fuses here is the K5, K6. So the F52, or F51 I mean. F51 is right there. So let's look at the F51. So that's the one right there. My reference is this two big fuses here and this bigger fuse here. And then that's my fuse right there. F51, 15 amp. So there's a puller here. Okay, this is the puller. How do you pull this out? It's so hard doing this with the camera. Okay. So this thing was located here. Yeah, right here. This fuse holder is located right there. Let's take out the 15. Right there. Okay, if you look at it from far, that's where we're at. Remember guys, this is a 2022 Camaro SS. I'll pull this out. Alright, the fuse is gone. Okay, let's start it up. Alright, so for the 2022 Camaro SS, the fuse for the valve, for the exhaust valve, is Foxtrot 51, F51. I pulled out the fuse so that it can't send any power back to the valve. So the valve will not get any power, therefore it will not close. So we're gonna start up the Camaro right now and see if that's true. Okay, here we go. All right, let's start this up. So let's start this up. All right, let's start it. There you go, right there. It says touring. We're in touring mode right now. Okay, so we're gonna go in the back to check out the exhaust. Hold on a second. Uh-oh. All right. There you go. The valve is open. It didn't close. See that? See it? There, the valve is open. See that? There you go, guys. As you can see, I put the fuse puller back where it belongs. And then remember, I referenced the two big fuses here and one big fuse here. And then right there was that one right there, the which one was it again? F51. So that's the F51 right here. I removed that. And here's the fuse. I'm just gonna put that in my glove compartment. So that's pretty much it. Now I can actually hear it. All right, let's do a summary here. The fuse were pulled from F51 bay. That fuse F51, we pulled it out. Now there's no more power being sent to the exhaust valve. The exhaust valve will remain closed. Oh, excuse me. The exhaust valve will remain open all the time. Okay, it'll never close until you restore that fuse back. As long the fuse is out, there's no power going to the exhaust valve. And because of that, the exhaust valve will remain open. Now, if you change your driving mode like touring, sport, or track or snow mode, it'll still function. Your car will still function normal, except it can't send power to close the valve, the exhaust valve. So it doesn't affect the exhaust anymore. But the car will still function normally the way it's designed, except the exhaust valve will remain open at all four modes. So on the next video that I'm gonna make is a remote control, so I can turn on and off or close and open the exhaust valve. And this one is really good for people that live in apartment buildings or condominiums or townhomes, or places where you want to start up your car and you want it quiet, so you want to close the valve. So I'll make that video on the next video. All right, so we'll have a remote switch or remote control switch. All right, just to remind you guys, every time you restart your car on the Camaro 2022 Camaro SS, every time you restart your car, it will always default to touring. Okay, so whatever we did, it will not affect that. So every time you restart your car, it'll go back to the default touring. And the only thing is the valve will remain open. Therefore, the exhaust is just going to be loud or louder. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching our video. Please stay tuned for the next video. All right. Increase the peace, guys.